Hey guys, how's it going? This is John with the New Division, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create a bass that sounds like this. Now, this type of bass is very much present in most of my productions because of the fact that it just adds a lot of low end, it has a nice mid range, and it has that little bit of top end that really gives it a just like a very present sound. This bass works really well in a lot of different patterns. So here's a couple other patterns that you can listen to real quick. So as you can see there, it's got like a very nice sound. So let's kind of begin with this preset from the beginning. And the first thing you want to do is, if you have any synth that has mod envelope, then you're definitely going to want to use this, because this is essentially where the sound is coming from. But first off, we need to start off with the oscillator. So what's actually happening here? The first thing is the octave on this bass is fairly low. We're playing at D3. So we're going to put this octave down to about -2 for the first oscillator. So let's hear how that sounds. Okay, pretty annoying, pretty basic, nothing really exciting happening there. So let's turn off the retrig, which is what retrigs the oscillator phase and the waveform of it. So let's go ahead and turn that off real quick. Then let's increase the voices to about 7. So right there, we can already hear a big difference. So here is how it sounded before. So when you take that retrig off, it just really widens it, and it kind of lets the oscillator play in free form. So we're going to do the same thing on oscillator 2A. We're going to go ahead and do -2B, bring this up to about 7 as well, turn the retrig off. Now we got both of them going at the same time. We're going to take the fine tuning on the second oscillator and bring it down just a little bit. I'm actually going to bring this whole bass down so that it's easier in the video, but so right there, it's doing a little bit of detuning. The next step here is to start working with the filters. In Sylenth, you can filter each individual oscillator if you want, but in this case, we're going to do A and B because we want both of these filtered. And then the type of filter that we're going to be using is a low pass, and this is going to be really helpful for what we're about to do next inside of the mod envelope. So what I like to do whenever I start with the bass like this is I try to bring the cutoff, the main cutoff and then the filter cutoff all the way down. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and modulate the cutoff filters A and B, okay, to this ADSR right here. And we're going to crank this guy all the way up. Now right now, if I play it back, you're not going to hear anything, but we're going to bring the volume of this modulation all the way up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the sustain all the way down. And then we're going to slowly drag up the decay envelope, and then you'll start hearing what I'm talking about. So right there, you can very faintly hear the bass coming in. So now what we're going to do is bring up this filter right here, the cutoff filter. And then we're just going to adjust this to taste down here. I'm also going to bring up this other oscillator over here a little bit more too, so that we have like that nice open sound. And then we're just going to slowly bring down the decay envelope. So that's a pretty good start. It's a little too dry, so let's go ahead and bring up the release on the master ADSR. And then also on the mod envelope here too. And as you can see there, I'm kind of tweaking around a little bit with some of the main settings that we were talking about, the cutoff filters, the mod envelope, and then a little bit of the ADSR. And so we're pretty much almost there with the sound. Now we're just going to kind of play around with some of the effects a little bit. We're going to use this EQ right here and change it to 2-pole. And then we're going to try to bring out some of the high frequencies on the treble. And I think a good starting point is actually, yeah, like 3500 is good. So let's start from there. So that's a pretty decent start so far. There's still a couple of little things that I want to do to this to kind of give it a little bit more of a, just a little bit more drive. So I think what we're going to do is actually turn up the filter A drive a little bit up here. And then we're now going to do the second set of oscillators. So we're going to go from part A to part B. And then here we're going to do -2 as well. And then we're going to bring this up to about 7 voices again, turn off retrig. And you know, one thing you can do too in Ableton, in Sylenth that's really convenient is you can copy the settings of this oscillator and then just paste it here. As you can see here, it's pasting the settings, so that's pretty cool. But since there's no filter on this one, we do have to create the filter chain on part B. So I've just gone ahead here and changed the filter type to low pass, and then let's see how that sounds. And I think it needs a little bit more low, so I'm going to bring one of these guys down to -3. That's a little too loud, so I'm going to turn the volume down. And then let's change this bass pattern into something a little bit different so we can kind of hear how everything is sounding thus far. Let's change it to. So the reason I'm doing it this way is so that I can kind of hear how it's releasing. So I think I want a little bit more release overall. So that kind of gives it a little bit more decay, and it just kind of, you know, it doesn't make it so stiff. I mean, there are certain cases where you want it to be a little bit more stiff than this, but I think for that, it sounds pretty good. Now, one thing you can do too, if it sounds too wide, sometimes I'll just bring these guys down a little bit. And that way you get a little bit more of a centered kind of feel. And then the last thing we can do is compress it. I mean, it's not necessary, but it can be cool for giving it a simple kick or bite. So in this case, I'm going to bring the compressor down to about like 2.5. The compressor, all it does is it just kind of makes everything a little bit more leveled. But there you have it, guys. Hope you liked this video. This is how to make a TND styled bass. This is something that I do with pretty much any synth that has a mod envelope. So anyways, let me know if you guys like this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and look forward to making more of these.